Just wanted to record this quick video on the benefits of fasting. And in this particular time when everybody is quarantined at the height of the coronavirus pandemic or what have you, um, one of the best things we can do is to flush our system. So one of the ways that you can accomplish that is by doing a coffee enema, which is essentially taking ground up coffee. You take like a tablespoon of the coffee grinds and put them in a pot of water enough to fill up an enema bag, and you can get those at your grocery store. But most often, you can get them at a local drugstore like Walgreens, CVS, places like that. So, and the key is to have the water to be at like room temperature because this is going up the rectum. So, with that being the case, once you heat the water up to a certain point, especially if you have coffee in it, literally what I do if I do a coffee enema, I literally let the water boil, and then I'll let the water cool down, obviously, before I lay on my side. I usually lay on my left side, and you really just let all the water drain into your system, and then hold it for as long as you can, and then just let all of the waste come out. Essentially, the waste, as the saying goes from Hippocrates, death begins in the colon. So being able to make sure that we stay regular is one of the best ways that we can minimize our chances, excuse me, or of having our bodies in a heightened state of toxicity to where we're more prone to disease and or not being able to ward off symptoms of a virus or cold or things of that nature. So, and that's from Hippocrates, or that it's actually a group of doctors, as I understand it, historically speaking. And the main point is that that's one of the Hippocratic oaths, or that's not I think the Hippocratic oath is to do no harm, I believe. The point is, flush your system. You could also do the master cleanse. And if you're not familiar with that, you can go to Amazon more than likely and have the book ordered and have it sent to your home. Essentially, what you need for the master cleanse is fresh lemons or limes. Typically, they recommend lemons in the book, and then you're gonna need cayenne pepper. And there's different types of heat with cayenne pepper. As a friend of mine that works at a health food store here in Atlanta told me about, which I was not aware of. Shout out to Jay Williams at Health Unlimited. So it makes a difference, and most of the cayenne pepper is going to be about the same level of hotness that you find in your bulk herb section, which are those are closed down now too. So you'd have to order that online, and or maybe just go to your local supermarket and buy up a bunch of cayenne pepper. You know, that's just one option. And then pure organic maple syrup. That's really the formula for the master cleanse. And then they want you to do like a sea salt flush. Uh, and you can do it for 10 days. That's what they recommend. However, if you're just getting into fasting, there's no hard and fast rule that you have to go that long. And typically, what I recommend to folks, if you're just getting into the conversation for fasting, which has been, touched on in biblical times and throughout history, people know about the benefits of fasting as a way to help reboot the immune system. You can go for like maybe one day initially, and then as you get accustomed to doing like one day, maybe every other week, you can move up to 3 days, and then eventually 10. And the key is to definitely make sure you follow their directives that they have in the book if you're going to do the master cleanse. And there's also another book out there called Rational Fasting by Arnold Arret. And he was like healing people of like cancer and diabetes. At his clinic, he was in Europe, and then he relocated to the US. And shortly after he got here, he slipped and fell and hit his head and died tragically. Personally, I think it was a hit because his business partner benefited from all of the work that he did after he died. His book, however, Rational Fasting, is really profound. Now, he was a proponent of short fast, if my memory serves me right. And then at times he would recommend longer fast. However, if you do a longer fast, you definitely want to make sure that that fast is going to be supervised, by a nutritionist, or a doctor that's, maybe more like a conscious medicine practitioner, to where they're familiar with fasting and they can empower you in that conversation. Most Western medical doctors, traditional Western medical doctors, that's not a conversation you can have with a good majority of those folks, especially if you're looking to have them support you. So, you know, if nothing else, just drink more liquid and more fluids during this time. One of the best things to do is to cut down on dairy and meat consumption, which is acid forming and mucus producing in the body. And that was a large part of Arnold Arrett's work. Was his book that most people know about is called the Mucusless Diet Healing System, and it's more of like a fruitarian regimen, or eating regimen or diet or lifestyle, and that's pretty hardcore. Most people are not ready for that. So, if nothing else, just start off your day with some fresh fruit, even if you aren't ready to start fasting, and then eventually work into getting into the conversation for fasting like once a day. It's not once a day, but once a week. And this is different from detoxing. When you're talking about fasting, it's exclusively liquid and liquid only. There is no food consumption. Detoxing is still eating food, but typically you're eating plant based, like fruits and vegetables, and you're taking various supplements to help flush and cleanse your system. Fasting is a whole different animal in that way. So, just wanted to shoot a quick video to offer you some tips that you could, research and look up on your own at your own discretion and make the choice and choose powerfully in terms of whether or not you think this is for you after you've had a chance to order the book, The Master Cleanse or Rational Fasting from Arnold Arrett. And there's some other folks out there that have some good information on fasting, but those are the two that I know about most, and I have their books here on my bookshelf. And I've done the Master Cleanse like 2 or 3 different times over the course of my life. A couple times I did it for 10 days. And, one time I did a grape juice cleanse from, oh God, what's the lady's name? Joanna Brandt. It's called The Grape Cure. And you can find that on Amazon as well. She was actually diagnosed with terminal cancer, and they had only given her X amount of months to live. And she just took measures into her own hands and just started fasting on pure grape juice. I think it was Welch's grape juice. I don't think it was like even organic. Now, granted, this was in the 40s or something. Um, so I doubt very seriously that she had the issue like we have nowadays with, you know, herbicides and pesticides on the level that they are. That's why typically people are always recommending that if you eat grapes or do grape juice and things like that, that you either make it yourself in terms of with a blender by buying organic grapes and juicing it that way. And that book is pretty hardcore because she actually did raw milk and she did clabbered milk. If you're not familiar with clabbered milk, that's raw milk that is sour, that has gone bad, so to speak. And when I would talk to people about that, I used to work at a health food store. I would always skip over that part of the book because I was like, people, that would just repulse people. Most people couldn't handle that. That makes people small. Who am I to say what people can handle? People out here living big lives, doing great things. And if they don't like that, if I communicate that because it actually is in the book, then that's their choice in terms of whether or not they want to employ that for them to use the method that she used to heal herself of terminal cancer. Either way, the whole point of this video again is about the benefits of fasting and boosting your immune system. And those are some of the ways that you can accomplish that. I think I mentioned the pure organic maple syrup is a part of what's in the recipe for the Master Cleanse. And, if you drink water, or like, let's say if you're, flushing your system, ideally you want to use like distilled water. Distilled water it doesn't have anything in it. It's been, I guess you could say, purified to where it doesn't have any it doesn't have minerals in it, and it doesn't have the bad stuff in it like sodium fluoride and things like that. So in terms of flushing your system with an enema, distilled water is actually some of the best water to use. Um, you could use spring water, and there's different types of spring water. And considering the fact that you're just flushing your system, it doesn't really matter because it's coming right back out anyway. Or you could use alkaline water if you have like a Kangen alkaline water machine. So just wanted to record this, and hopefully you found some value in what I shared here. If you did, feel free to hit the like button and subscribe. Maybe leave a comment below. It I do have an opportunity to sit outside right now in the beautiful sun and get some vitamin D, which is a great hormone balancer and is very important for melanated people to get as much of that as we can to is just a good boost for our immune system, regardless of what race you're from. Some people can withstand the heat longer because of the melanin content in their skin, and typically people of African descent require more melanin. So it's just kind of a benefit. And so I chose to sit outside to shoot this video. And that's the What's So. Hope like I said, you found some value here. Thanks so much. I appreciate you taking the time to watch, and stay tuned for more content for my YouTube channel. And I appreciate your generous listening. Take care of yourselves and be well, and keep your immune system strong. Take care.